Well, guys, I got a job. So things have not been going very well for me lately. I'm really stressed and, on the edge where I'm just thought to freak out at any moment. And so I need something to, first of all, relieve some stress. What is some of that stress? First of all, I feel bad that I don't make enough money to pay off that apartment every month, so we pull from our savings, and that just eats at me so much. And so I was looking for a job. I got a job, and it's also a good distraction because you know what? I just kind of need something else to focus on for a bit. All my own projects are getting a little too hard. So I got a job at the local makerspace, and it's working out really well. This isn't gonna be like the main video because I'm gonna do a good video about it whenever I get my my new camera. But for now, I'll just show a little bit of like the prospects and whatnot. So there's so much I want to say and so much I don't want to say, but I should say it. So it's lunchtime, by the way. I just had to help them with their computers because there's two buildings there. I walked from the other makerspace, which is like the artsy makerspace, to this makerspace, and here we are. So I've been having some issues lately, a lot of stress, just all these life changes, moving around and all that has really gotten to me, and I'm a very high-strung person, and right now I'm really, really high-strung, and I can't take solace in my own project. So I keep thinking, like, I kind of wish I could go work for Apple again and subscribe to somebody else's dream for a little bit. But this is even better because it's a sort of job where I can just kind of show up and do some tasks, and when my work's done, I leave, and I get a lot of work done. And we're working on all these plans like 3D printing and converting home videos for people, and most of all, I'll get paid a few $100s, which will help me fill that gap. And sorry, I'm out of breath. Let's go inside. Actually, you know what? Lens. Over here is a coffee shop. You have all these things. You have a glow forge, a big Epson printer, a Sawgrass, an Epson fast photo, a Mac, a work area, and 3D printers, and final cutter, sublimation, I think. It's very stuff. Let's go to the basement. So these are all offices that they're wanting to start renting out, or suites, sorry. They're wanting to start renting these out for makers. And like, look at that, someone's already gotten there. This is a relatively new space, relatively new, and this building, they've been restoring it. Like you see, there's another fault happened there. Apparently this building looked pretty bad. So effectively, Hillsborough had the Imagine Hillsborough group that was trying to revitalize the place, and this place has, I think, Lansdowne's Future, and I can't remember, yeah. So they have the farmer's market, and then they also run the coffee shop, and they run this makerspace and the art studio, which is the other building that I was walking from. And so they're really interested in building a community and building this stuff. And before I even came here, I thought the makerspace was interesting. So I looked up who was in charge, and I saw that they were also in charge of the farmer's market. And we happened to finally go to the farmer's market, and there was no one there. And then so I was like, fine, I'm going right to the people that are in charge just to talk about stuff. And we hit it off really well. And so then like clockwork, next thing you know, we're over at the makerspace talking about stuff. And then I really like the layout of it. Because, like at first, when I walk in, I'm like, there's a lot of printers and stuff. But it's like, no, I don't know what the market is. And I think that sense of what I got of it not being quite what it could be is what I can bring. Because the thing is, like, what I can bring is, back there, I can have a workshop that I can do welding and stuff. The customers won't do the welding. They'll just tell me to do it. That we don't have to have like safety certification for them or anything. Like, they can give me a schematic and give me some parts, and I can scurry off in the depths of the basement and build the thing for them. And so I was thinking, like, instead of it just being a place where you can rent tools and rent space, you would also get access to me being your rapid prototyping specialist like I was at Apple, like I do in my life. Because, sometimes I get tired of building my own stuff. I kind of want to build stuff for somebody else, especially if it pays money. And I think that would be also, like, that was the thing that I missed. Like, okay, it's a place where people can come and use tools, but what if they have a dream and they don't want to use the tools? And so I immediately saw a position for me. And Debbie, the manager, she's really nice because I didn't want to be rude and ask for much money. So I was like, I just gave my situation where we basically pull from my savings about $200 a month. And if I could help kind of spread that gap or fill that gap, that'd be great. And she was like, well, I don't see any reason why you can't be making more money, like a couple $100 a month. And so that works out really well, where, we're both doing that thing where it's like, well, I'll give to you, you give to me kind of thing. And, like less focused on taking and more focused on giving, because that's the kind of thing I like. Is I don't want to have to deal with being like, I wouldn't want to be the kind of person to be like, I want more money or whatever. I want to be the kind of person like, here, take more. And take more of my work. Because I'm not doing this for money exactly. Money is a secondary thing that makes it's like a lubricant. In actuality, I'm doing this because I don't want to ever work a job where I just do it for money. I don't want to, at least. I want to work a job because I want to. And with this, I can kind of subscribe to that dream, and I can get a little lost in it. And I can kind of forget some of my stress. And so I'm thinking, aside from just being a person that does every little random thing, I can help out a lot. And what's nice is they do too. So this is working out pretty well. And I'm also going to see about doing classes. So I'm thinking I can kind of market myself, kind of like how Rocket Lab is, where Rocket Lab used to just launch rockets, and that got a certain number of customers. But then they realized, you know what, if we buy all the companies that make the satellites, you can just order a satellite. And you don't have to worry about having to learn to make your own satellite. You just tell us you want this satellite, and then we make it and launch it for you. And so something like this, I think, because this makerspace has only been here for a little bit, and they're trying to really get it going, I think that would be the extra zest in the formula that would make it to where, instead of it just being a place for tinkerers to come, it would also be a place where you could come and we would fill the gap in your capabilities. And this is the area that I'm thinking about. Even just temporarily, taking it for myself a little bit. Because I could see having, totally modular workbenches The coffee shop's right above. We're going to get to that later. Because I can make totally modular workbenches, and like I could have the workshop down here, and I could have curtains here to stop sawdust from going, because I'm going to be crazy about that. And then what I can do is, if it's ever decided that this is better for something else, or if the coffee shop needs refrigerators down here, it'd be super easy to move everything. Like, I'm not actually going to have that many tools, more of supplies, really. And then I also want to maybe do some videos of restoring this building. I think that would be pretty fun. So, regarding the coffee shop, I like their style where they have these buildings that used to be kind of vacant, if I understand, right? And they have a lot of space in them, but they're not just using it for single use, because you notice when we walk through the makerspace up there, there was a drywall wall, and then there was doors for the offices. Well, it's because they sectioned off an area, and it's the coffee shop. And so that's also like a little side business. So they're really distributing stuff. And they wanted to have down here, further down there, it's going to be like a well-insulated sound lab, so people can come and record stuff or whatever. So this looks like it's about 18 feet by 18 feet. It's the old sump pump. I really like this a lot. So things like that sump pump bring up other possibilities too, because I want to get into restoring things. And you see, I have a lot of stuff at the workshop that I can start shipping out here, and I can restore them here and sell them. Maybe in the store, maybe that would be another little side business like the coffee shop. You know, there's all these things that I can get lost in, and maybe I can lose my insanity, my stress and stuff. And what I like about it is how flexible it is, because I was just like, it's not like I work 9 to 5. I'm just like, oh, I'll come in when you need next and see if there's anything else you want me to do or whatever. So, and then there's going to be times where I'm going to be like working 18 hours a day, and it'll go and wax and wane naturally. And then also I'm going to see about, sometimes I might get paid in tools, like for instance, like right now, we don't have all my paperwork made up. And so what I decided was like, well, they have this old Macintosh that's kind of neat, like a 2008 Mac. And since they use Macintoshes, I have to kind of get back into using Macintoshes just to know to troubleshoot it. And I was like, you know what? I like this old Mac. I want it for like troubleshooting and stuff at home. So for all the work I've been doing with helping them with their networks and stuff like that, I'm going to get the Mac for payment. And I like that because that's pretty nice. It's going to help me learn, because there's stuff about Macs that I forgot about. And then with that sump pump over there, another thing I might ask for is a Milwaukee cordless angle grinder, because I'm thinking there's a lot of space behind the building. I can start taking that stuff out, sanding it, painting it, and putting it back into service so it looks nice. And there's also a hand-operated lift at the other building, because it used to be an appliance store and they used it to take appliances from the basement. It's hand-operated, all pulleys and stuff, and it's all dilapidated. And so I'm going to see about some payments here and there, especially in the beginning whenever we don't have whatever it would be, the paperwork for paying me figured out. I'll just be like, just get this angle grinder at Home Depot or whatever. I'll just take this old computer. I think that's pretty good. And it also helps my capabilities a lot. Then, lastly, if I can use that little room back there, I can start using that to store things such as lumber and metal. And so then we don't have to keep that in the apartment, because I don't want the apartment to really be much of work at all. It's just going to be like, I need to get it away from work. If I'm going to like the apartment, because that's the thing, like, I don't enjoy my life very much. So what do? You stick to the path that you set for yourself. Because I set a very nice path. I'm gonna make a nice life for me and Thais. And the only reason I wouldn't have a nice life is just because I'd be incapable of appreciating it. And I think the reason right now that I can't appreciate it is because I'm so tightly wound up and stressed, and I'm so stuck in my own problems, and my own projects aren't quite giving me joy, so I just need something different. Like, I already moved across the country, and I like where I moved to. Lansdowne's pretty adorable. It's like a step towards what I remember of Switzerland. And so I already have a path. It will be gratifying eventually. It'll be rewarding. But right now, I'm just so stressed that I can't feel anything. But I can use logic, and I can tell this is what I should do. And if I keep on this path, eventually a lot of the stress and stuff should leave me. And I won't feel so insane. And I should be able to start realizing, like, you know what, I'm glad I went on that path because it was the right thing. I've done that quite a lot of times in my life, and it's worked out. It's really hard, really fucking hard, but you got to do it. And yeah, so this is a slight update. With this, I might be able to afford going back to Illinois more, which would be nice. Maybe me and Thais will go out there. We'll drive out there. See, it's funny, like YouTube, it does stress, you know, that's the other stress, relying on YouTube. Because YouTube, the money keeps going down. And if I do more work, I don't get paid anymore. Here, if I do more work, I get paid because I'm planning to teach a class on Blender, you know? Like, I'm doing all this stuff where if I teach the class, how it works here is the person who teaches the class gets a cut of the charge for the class. I also have this idea of, since before this, where I was thinking about doing some like talks, where I'd write a really good talk. Like, for instance, I feel really strongly about single-use plastics, and that kind of goes into a bigger idea of, like, what's the next thing? It's easy for people to see that electric cars are the next thing because they're here. But what's after electric cars? What's after wind turbines? What's the next big thing? And I might make a talk talking about a few things. Well, that's pretty much it. You know, let's go. I'll walk back out, and we'll poke our head into the coffee shop real quick, because it's right up those steps right there. But I don't want to go because that's like in their kitchen, you know. Oh, right. That's the coffee shop. I can see myself doing videos, restoring stuff here. I was gonna get some shots of the coffee shop. I was telling about the whole thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's like, is that okay if I show it to you? You guys all look really nice, so I thought. Thank you. Yeah. Slight change of plans, guys. They have one last slice of zucchini bread. I've never had zucchini bread. Sorry. And I'm gonna walk all the way back home, get my money, and then go back and buy me and Thais a slice of zucchini bread, and that'll be it for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the new direction of the channel. Lots of video content. It'll be kind of like the Red Rooster. And see ya.